Hello and welcome back. Today's lesson is all about setting our future selves up for success. And I know it may be confusing because I originally said, the future and the past are just an idea, and they are, but it's about the blueprint that we're moving towards to creating our present. We look at the future and we want that, not in the future, we want to make our present, that to steer our present in the direction of the future that we want, with the awareness of understanding that it's only going to show up as our experience in the present. So one of the things that we talk about setting ourselves up for success a lot, but another way to think about it is, how are we setting our future self up for success? And I kind of came up with this concept because I remember when I was younger, I had a roommate, and other people said this too, but it was a funny thing. I remember she was going to drive me somewhere, and I said, but I thought you only had enough gas to get to work, and you couldn't afford to buy more until next week. And she just said, that's a problem for future me. And so if that's setting our future self up for not success, well, then the opposite of that is setting our future self up for success. So doing things like, if you're trying to drink a glass of water in the morning, putting it out before you go to bed. If you know that you struggle to get ready in the morning, putting your clothes out. If you struggle to eat healthy food, making sure there's always food in the fridge so that you are not tempted to eat out, or you skip the dishes or get delivery, right? And so we can set ourselves up for success. And again, looking for that vision board, and how do I make it even easier for myself to get there? So, setting boundaries, setting ourselves up for success. And the other part of it, and the reason I called this lesson Dear Future Self, is because a lot of times we do things and we're implying something not so great about how we believe in our future self. So I'll give you an example. People will be in a business, for example, and they'll say something like, well, what if this happens? And it's like, well, you're amazing, like, you'll deal with it. But it's almost like they don't believe in their future self's ability to deal with it as well as they would now. And it's like, so I would say we want to believe in our future self. We want to set ourselves up for success and not take massive stresses, not spend too much money, not grocery shop, not leave any time for the things that we want to do. But we also want to believe in our future self. So another place this shows up, and this is something that shows up for me, is, maybe I'll have a month that's a bit tighter, or maybe, I'll have a lot of expenses for my business or something. And then I'll start being like, ooh, I don't know if I can afford that. Ooh, I don't know if I can afford that. But what am I saying about my future? I'm saying that I expect myself not to make that more money, that I expect myself not to have the resources to balance that out. And of course, when dealing with the mind, we're always creating that blueprint. We're not doing something or not doing it. We're always doing something. And so by expecting the worst, we're actually setting that as the point of focus in our future self vision that we're now moving towards to. So, and of course, there's using your discernment is always important. I'm not just saying, spend frivolously or whatever. What I'm saying is, in a situation like that, the nuance of it. So me saying, oh, should I, get this coffee or this sandwich or these treats for my dog or whatever, if I were to think in that moment, what am I saying if I was saying, dear future self? So that might look like I'm kind of implying, dear future self, I don't believe in you to make enough money or have enough resource to accommodate these purchases or this lifestyle, which is totally not true. And we all have ups and downs, but the reality is I consistently do really well and I'm totally fine. And so, but that is like dipping into scarcity. That's old patterns, all old thoughts. And we want to look at that and be like, well, am I believing in the future I'm creating myself, or am I not? So worrying about things like that is kind of not believing in the future. You're saying, well, I don't believe in myself to create that future enough to trust it, versus being like, of course more abundance is coming, of course more success is coming. Look at everything I've created. Well, going over there is only a few steps further. And so I'm going to say to dear future self, I trust you. I trust that there's abundance coming, that there's a resource, and that I don't have to worry about this in this moment. You know, another place this might show up for you is in relationships. Maybe you chose a wrong relationship in the past and now you're just terrified to get in another relationship because you don't want to be in that situation again. But again, what are you saying? I'm saying, dear future self, I don't trust you to make a good decision. And maybe there's some validity in that. Maybe we can unpack that and go, well, I think I need better communication skills. I need a better understanding of myself. I need a better understanding of my mind. But here you are doing this very course, growing, learning, evolving, creating a blueprint for what you want. If relationships a big pain point in your life, then do the future self vision and vision board stuff and make it extra focused around that with your goals. Get extra specific about what you want from a partner, what you want clearly, and maybe even some of what you don't want. You've had in the past, I don't want anger issues. I want someone that's calm, peaceful, and has great communication skills, and then start to say, dear future self, I trust you to make the right decision. And of course, we're not just saying that, we're doing that in our actions, so maybe going on dates, maybe being a little bit more trusting, maybe letting go of some of that apprehension. And so instead of saying, implying, we're never actually saying this, what I want you to look at is, how are our actions implying our future is going to be? How are our actions implying the degree to which we believe in our future? If you wouldn't bet on your future, then you really don't believe in it. And and it makes sense because a lot of us are taught to have plan A and plan B. But the real way to do things is have plan A and then fight like hell to make that your reality. So I just want you to think for today about, some of the things you do and the subtleties of, do they imply that you believe in your future or that you don't? Do they imply that you believe in your future self to navigate things or that you don't? And just kind of reflect on that, building on everything else, just layers and layers of awareness. And you'll probably find some pretty interesting things that you do that actually either aren't setting your future self up for success or that just really aren't implying a high level of belief in yourself and the person you're becoming's ability to solve things. So just continue to reflect, and I know that some interesting things are going to come up for you. So you're doing amazing. Have a great day. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.